Good morning everyone, and welcome back to Craft Eccentricity, and we are up today with the KSCRAFT, and let's make this. Right, so we are going to be doing the castle. Now with this you get a turret and you also get a base. These are separate boxes, so I do believe you purchase these separately, so you can go for the tower, or you can go for the base, or you can go both together. Now looking at KSCRAFT's website, I've noticed that people have built two towers with a box in between. So I'm going to do mine different. I'm going to do one tower and one box, and I'm going to stack them. And we're also using this gorgeous firework flower. Hey, look at that. Isn't that great? Ooh. And we've got sunshine this morning, so it's shining. Yeah. Now, I've been a bit organised and I've already done a few things. And the first thing I've done is I've already built the tower. So, I want you to have a close-up. That's what that looks like. Really easy to do. Just 4 pieces and flapped around. That's all you need to do. Or should I say 2 pieces? I beg your pardon. Yeah, I can see my seams. I haven't had my coffee yet. And then you drop your base in, and that's how I've chosen to do my base, so that my flaps were on the outside and that bit is there. The paper that I'm using today is Maggie Holmes Chasing Dreams, and the pearlized cardstock, because you can see it's very pearly. Ooh, nice picture. That is from Joanne. So the sheet that I've used is kind of like a very large sort of tablecloth or handkerchief kind of design. So you can tell that, you know, you've got like finishing edges and stuff like that. And then on the top there, it's all little pink hearts. I hope you can see that. Right, so that bit is done and it's just great. But now we're going to do the base. I have already done one of the flowers. Now my idea for the flowers is that it's going to go onto the lid, and I want it on the top, one on either side, because they just look very fireworky to me, and I didn't show you the inside of the lid. So there you go. Just really simple, this piece. Now the next bit, not so simple. At least not to me, because you've got to make sure that the lid of your box is going to open in the right way, and I'm going to try and explain that as I go along. Right, you're going to get a piece like this and you're going to cut it, and you're going to have 2 windows. You've got score lines there, so we'll go along, and I just find those first with my finger. I am going to be good today. I've got my bone folder tool. So these are the long sides of the box, and we're going to go along there. And you've got another one on this side, so we're going to find that one. I chose to do this one because it is harder than the tower at sort of like getting it right. Otherwise you'll find yourself bashing your fingers on the do you know what they're called? What are these bits called here? Is it called the turrets or something? I'll probably call that completely wrong. The jiggy jaggy doodahs. Yeah, that's what they are, that you see on castles. Yeah. You can tell I was really good at history. Yeah. Jiggy jaggy doodahs. So you score them in your 3 places. So that's what you've got there. Now I already did complete one, because you're going to need 2 of them. And you can tell that I've already glued on the windows and the doors, which are really easy. Now this door does have a wood grain design, but because I've used that little heart paper that I used on the tower, it's barely visible. But I mean, you can make this any way that you want. So you can make it look realistic using brick paper. You could do it as a Christmas chapel. Just with 1 tower and 1 block off to the side. It could be a wedding chapel. I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, you know, I'm thinking Christmas, birthdays, princesses. You've got it all going on there. Right, so we've folded those. Now this is the lid you can see you've got the larger flap there, and of course that's going to need scoring. And this is your back section flap, and you need that to be scored as well. So just go along and bend it. I can hear Bowie's giving himself a good shake, bless him. He's been rolling in the bark chippings today. He likes a nice bit of mulch. Right, so that is your opening lid. Now, the reason why I say this one is harder is because this is the front. I'm just going to call it the castle. This is the front of the castle, and you need to put your small hinge right there. Because these bits, your jiggy-jaggy doodahs, need to go on there. So that is the front. Because, and I'm also going to show you, if you decided to do it that way around with the opening flap right there, let's pop it in position. And your turrets need to, the turrets, whatever they are, they need to go on the front. Are you going to get your hand in to open the flap? Do you know what I mean? You're going to be bashing and spoiling these. And if you've taken the effort to make something as pretty as this, you don't want, you know, anything in the way. So make sure that you glue your opening hinge to the front. Okay. Now I'm hoping that I'm not going to make that mistake. So I'm putting that down. I have explained it to you, and that there is the turret that will go right onto the front. Next you get sides. Really simple, just 2 pieces. Once again, all you've got to do is find your score lines, and you can see them. Even if you're using pattern paper, you'll see it on the reverse, because these dies emboss the score line beautifully. KSCRAFT dies are always extremely well made, and of course they are designed by Nicole. So that's how you do a side. And I'm going to do another one. Why not? There we go. So we're going to bend that. And we're going to bend that. And we're going to make a flower. And we're going to glue all this together. So as you can see with the flaps here, you can also open this at the side of the box. So each piece is going to layer in. Do you know, this is where I get confused. And I wonder... Yeah. Because that bit needs to go there. That doesn't make sense to me because it's a different height. Ooh, KSCRAFT, if you're watching, you need to tell me what I'm doing wrong. I'm just looking at my pieces here. And I've scored it where the score lines are. I know that that wouldn't close there because of course you'd see it through the windows. Now there is something... And I know it's not because of coffee. Ah, it goes that way around. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Coffee. Right, so that's going to go to the base. Your little flaps and your little flaps are going to go to the base, and your larger flap at the top. Oh, I almost went into a panic then. Do you know what it's like when you've got something and you've done it totally wrong? Oh, dearie me. Yeah, so that is how that goes. Right, so I sincerely apologise. I'm going to put that one that way around. So that's how that goes. And then you've got a base. And I intend to do my base exactly the same as this one, where it's showing at the bottom, because I kind of like that. So my base is going to go on like this. But first of all, before I confuse anybody further... Yeah, let's make one of these, because what I've done is I've cut 2 large, 2 of the smaller ones, because you get 2 plates of different sizes, and I'm going to glue them together. So I've got my larger ones at the back, and I'm just going to slightly overlap. I'm going off in different directions, and then we're going to fluff them up. I think these are so pretty, and they just remind me of fireworks. So I'm going to have firework flowers going off on the top of my tower, and you want them to overlap slightly. And then we're going to put the cream centre and the raspberry centre. Do you know, I'm still smiling to myself about my box. Oh, I'm so glad I slowed down and took the time. So if anybody else has run up against that and they're sitting there thinking, and they're twirling it around, keep twirling it around until you find the right way. Right, so that is all glued, and now all you have to do is just fluff it up with your finger. You just got to go around it and just do that. Just do it gently and just flick it so that you're separating all of those petals out. And if you need to use your poke tool for lifting or something, then just go ahead and do it, because I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use my poke tool in here just to lift up the stamens of my fireworky flower, and just go around and do that. Ooh, there we go. I hope everyone's going to have an awesome day today. I wish you that every single day, and I truly mean it. I mean, for me, I just go out in the garden and just have a great time. I have a great time in my garden, yes I do. I discuss things with the trees as I go around. And at the moment, I have been tying down branches on plum and pear trees, pulling them down so that they're, you know, kind of like 45 degrees to the ground rather than poking straight upright. Because you have to get rid of the apical dominance. Yes, you do. Otherwise, you get no fruit. So that's what I've been doing. And the dogs look at me like I'm insane. And I'm sure the neighbours do too. What on earth are you doing? Tying all those branches down. And I do each one individually so that they all look like puppets on strings. It's quite funny. So I want to glue this up here. So I'm going to have a blob of glue. Take my pin out first. I'm going to have a blob of glue here. Right, I'm going to let that dry and I will be right back. Right, and there it is. And I decided to do the other side. So we've got 2 flowers. Ooh, I like that. Yes, I do. So now that can go back onto here, and we want to look at a nice side. There we go. So we've got our fireworky flower right on the top of our tower. Right, now let's do this and do it properly. Yes. So that's my base and my lid. And these are my sides, and you can see I've got them facing in the right direction. Now, I'm always saying, but I like to remind, just in case there's any newcomers to craft, when you're gluing anything to a folded seam, you glue before the fold, just fractionally, otherwise it won't bend. So you want to go just before you fold. So I've got this down flat now so that you can see it, and I'm going to do the same with that. So it's scored and ready to go, but you just need to squish it down a bit with your hand. And we're going to apply some glue on here. And we're going to take this and we're going to match it up. And just before that fold, make sure that it's matched up. I have to lift things up towards myself so that I can see. I think that's it. And I am just before my fold, so that you've got your flap glued onto the inside. And now you're going to get your next side and you're going to do exactly the same thing. So that is going to be glued just before the crease again, and you want it lined up so that you've got a nice point in the base. My camera's gone blurred. There we go. So you want it like that so that it matches along. And I'm going to slide that under there. Get that little arrow point matched up, slide that in just before you fold again and rub it down. Right, I'm just going to stick this one on and I will be right back. Right, so I've done that, and the next thing you want to do, we've got them all in a row there. I'll leave it there just for a second, just in case you're somebody that needs to pause the video. So I'll say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's enough time to pause something. And I'm going to move that along now, and I'm going to stick my lid on. So once again, just flatten out what you've scored, because that is going to go into here. Just like that, just before the fold line again. So we're going to glue that one on. And I may have to pick it up towards myself so that I can have a good look, because I want it to be straight. We'll put that there. Right, so once you've got your lid on, give that a quick rub. You need to pop your turret on. So the turret is going to go there, I think. And I've got a nice line here in this paper to make it easy enough to do. So you only want a little bit of glue along your base, because you don't want to be sticking anything else down. So I'm going to put it to that pale pink line. And you just got to hope that it's straight. Right, so let's pick that up now and see what we've got. You've got a lid that's going to fold away. Hope you can see that. And then you've got your turret that will be left standing up. Now obviously these little bits fold underneath your lid, and then your lid is going to fold inside of here, and then that little flap gets glued into there. Obviously this one's going to go underneath as well, so that our box, when glued together, is going to look like that. So the only bit left to glue now is this side section. So that's what we need to do. So I'm just going to lift that up so that I can do that. I'm going to pop some glue onto this edge. Whoops, throw my pin away. I'm going to have to find myself one of those really nice long pins and make myself something huge and fancy so that I can see it. Right, let's get this all lined up. It's going to go along there. And we are nice and straight. Right, I'm just going to let that glue itself together for a second and I'll be right back. Right, so that is sufficient enough that we can play with it once more. And we've got our sides here of the base that I'm just tucking in slightly. And if we stand this up, what you end up with is a box that folds down just like that. So that's your lid, and then that's your front. I'll straighten out my camera. There we go. It's the bright light. So all we have to do now is pop the base on. And to do that, it's very simple. We're just going to open the lid on the box. We're going to lift our flaps up. And my glue, I prefer to glue from the bottom, so that I go along these flaps here. And I just roll it around and pull them down, and I put glue into those edges. You do have enough work time before your glue goes off. And then because the glue's on the inside, you can just stand that up like that. I think you can see my glue there. And I take my base, and I like the nicest bit to be on the inside. So you can cut another one and make it, you know, pretty on the outside if you want to. And then I've dropped that into there. And then all you need to do is get your bone folder and give it a bish bash up and down. There you go. Make sure you've got your box all nice and straight and lined up there. Right, I will just let that dry for a second and I'll be right back. Right, so the base is in there. The glue is still a little bit wet, but you know, and that's what it looks like there. Now, if you get any pieces that are still sticking up, just go in with your bone folder and just run it around and make good contact so that you're spreading that bit of glue around. And then you end up with a nice smooth base like this one. And of course it matches that one. So now if we turn this way, this is our box for opening, and of course that's the back of our castle base. So that closes up nicely and it looks like that. And then of course we've got our tower, which I'm going to pop in there, which has got its lovely fireworky flower on top. But the idea for me is that they go like that. So mine's kind of a Rapunzel tower for grown-ups, and I'm going to have to do it like that, aren't I, so that it fits in, which isn't the best idea in the world, but you know me and my camera. But I will try and get a better picture which will appear at the front of this video. But isn't that great? What a lovely way to gift stuff. And of course, if you wanted to, you know, black out the windows, all you have to do is the piece that drops out, just glue it to the back of the window, and you'll have a solid window. So it could be you've got some nice princess pictures or fairies or something, and you want them to show through the window. But I've just left mine empty. So I really do love that. It's really pretty. And as a completed set, I'm going to measure that. I'm going to go all the way up to the turret, the point and down, and it's a 9-inch gift box if you do it that way. And of course you can get plenty of stuff in. As individuals, I'll do the box and not the, you know, jiggy jaggy doodads. And that is 2 3/4 high by, what is that, 3 5/8 wide. And then this one, if I just do the box on its own, because that's what you'd be putting all your goodies into, when finished, that is 4 inches by 2 3/8. And then of course this adds a whole new doodah to it. So when you put that on, you end up with a tower that is 6¼ inches. Isn't that great? But can't you just see these decorated up for Christmas? And you could do little fairy lights. You could put all glitter and snow on the pointy roof. But that is how they go together. And I don't know if I can get a good close-up. There we go. But it's this lovely sort of like corally pink. And that paper is almost a raspberry colour. But because it's so bright in here today, that is what I've got. And as I say, everyone else has done 2 towers, one either side of the centre. But it's entirely up to you. Because like that, to me, that could be a wedding church or a Christmas church. So I really love it. And I thank you so much for joining me once again. Do have an absolutely awesome day. And I'll be up again tomorrow with more from KSCRAFT. And as usual, all links below. Bye.